think a lot of America thinks that we should be pushing them back with shields and skip back. But that's not the nature of the job.
It's worse than that, man. You know, one of the things that concerns me, and again, I take what I see on the internet with a grain of salt, because I do believe the internet should come with an IQ test associated. Like if you're dumb, you get dial up. And if you're Elon Musk, you can have some Cat 5 cable. I have seen so many people outwardly expressing that what they want the National Guard to do is shoot people as they start making their way across the border. And I worry about how they arrive at that place. Are they believing everything that they hear about the border, that we're being invaded every day by military age males? And not that that's not happening. And if you think about it though, a military age male, let's call that something between, I don't know, we'll call it 15 to, even though 15 is on the young end of that, but somebody who could be confused for a later teen into their, call it 30 on the top end. Well, those are the people that have the ability in their life to be the most physical to try to attempt these border crossings. It doesn't mean that all of them are ISIS infiltrators or, you know, Chinese communists that are trying to infiltrate. And again, not saying that that couldn't be that, but for somebody to think that the policy for the National Guard should be to stand at the border on top of Humvees with M4s and gun people down as they cross the center line of the Rio Grande, I'm really worried what that means. Like, is that who we are? Like, is that who we stand for? It concerns me.
That's exactly. That comment right there is exactly. I think there's very few that see it that way. And I think it's important to see it that way. It's like, is that the type of person we are? Is that the type of country we are? To engage on someone attempting to come into this country. You don't know. I don't have a chance to interview them, but attempting to come into this country to gain more opportunity, to gain, you know, to gain access to this country. It's a hard thing to say, but the last thing would ever say is to set up a high point and take aim. That's fucking barbaric. And the funny thing is, the people who say that, the majority of those people, we've been at war for almost 20 something years. The majority of them have never even attempted to serve in that capacity. But then now you want to mention something on social media because you have the ability to do that without having to actually act on it. But that's what you want us to do. You want the guys who've served this country, who've done so many things overseas, who've been asked to do the unspeakables, to come to this great nation back onto our own soil and defend us in that capacity. This subject is hard. This subject is challenging. For me to even sit here and try and voice this, fucking hard.
Yeah.
But that, to say we should go to shooting them, there's a disconnect for that individual to understand, like, yeah, you don't get it. You don't get this still.
Well, and it begs an even deeper question, to me at least, you know, using the term that you just used, which I love, is the disconnect with this interconnectivity that we have. And for clarity, I don't see people doing a Zoom call or like an Instagram live being like, shoot these fuckers, right? They want to do they don't want to necessarily associate the comment with them directly. They would rather kind of do it anonymously or put it out there on the internet. And I wonder, is it even actually how they feel, or have we become so desensitized to the way that we interact on these devices that it actually entices us to be the worst version of ourselves, who we would not actually be in person? So then the things that we're seeing and hearing on the digital world that we're connected in are not potentially even a reflection of who we really are as people. You know what I mean? Like it's this soup.
It's
that you're trying to see
metaverse version. That's you can say those things and have no repercussions of it.
Yeah. Because I don't even know if that person actually feels that way, or do they just want to rise because their whole social interaction is online? You know, like social media is neither, in my opinion, very social because it's the worst expression for most people. And it's certainly not even necessarily media, even though I guess it could be, but it's neither of those things. Is it just they choose to be like that because they want to rise to the top and get noticed because that's where they get their social engagement from, even though in real life they probably wouldn't be like that? Like,
yeah,
we're so fucked as a species. Like, again, I can't even half the time articulate why I feel the way that I feel, let alone trying to understand why somebody else feels the way that they feel on the internet and if that's their real person in real life.